I don't know why you dragged us out to the middle of nowhere.
Come on, change is good sometimes.
I get that, but we could have been happy doing our usual theme park thing. We could be waiting for illuminations as we speak.
We can't always be at a theme park. Besides, I think I might have the next best thing. Here, try this.
I seriously doubt a cup of coffee can make me any happier about our little adventurous expedition you have us on, let alone make me forget we passed up the Magic Kingdom for this.
Would you stop talking for 2 seconds and just try it?
Whoa, this is good. Like, really good. Where'd you find this, Starbucks?
Nope, this is Expedition Roasters, the artisanal roasters of specialty pop culture inspired coffees. You happen to be drinking Enchanted Tiki Coconut.
Wait, these are theme park inspired?
Yep, honestly, it's the next best thing to actually being in the parks.
What other flavors do they have?
If you want to embrace your inner Haunted Mansion, they have some Happily Never After, which features flavors of New Orleans pralines. And if you want to do your best Dapper Dan impression, you can grab some Main Street USA Colombian. And the best part is that all of their coffees are gluten-free and allergen-free.
That's fantastic. Let me see the bag. Whoa, these bags don't look like any other coffee I've seen.
That's because each one of the bags has unique custom artwork by guest artists. It makes it a little more fun to display in the kitchen than a boring bag.
That's cool. They're almost collectible. We're gonna have to buy more when we get home.
Well, since you like this one so much, maybe when we get home we can go to expeditionroasters.com and buy some more great coffee and maybe some fun mugs and shirts, too.
This means we can have theme park magic every day of the week. This is the next best thing.
Do you feel a little better now? You're caffeinated and you have a little bit of the parks here with you.
Much better. Maybe being out in nature isn't so bad after all. But I may prefer the animatronic animals better. This coffee may be the only type of adventure I need in my life. Start your expedition today at expeditionroasters.com and use coupon code DUO15 to save 15% off any purchase of Expedition Roasters themed coffees. Brew your happy place. Expedition Roasters, an adventure in every bag.
Hi, and welcome to the Theme Park Duo podcast. Grab your park map, churro, and hop in line with us as we take you on a coast-to-coast adventure through the world of theme parks, haunts, conventions, and more. Now, here's your hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Theme Park Duo podcast. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Gabe.
And we are the Theme Park Duo. And we have an exciting episode. It's kind of new. I'm interviewing Gabe because he went to something I didn't.
Haha, what? Interviewed? Yeah. You interviewing me? It's going to be great.
I don't know how good I'm going to be as an interviewer.
As an interviewee, I guarantee I'm going to be probably the best that ever was.
Probably.
On this show? I doubt it. No, I'm probably the worst ever on this show. My recollection of facts are astoundingly terrible.
That's not true.
I know it's not.
Well, anyway, Gabe went to the Queen Mary and got a little peek inside the infamous room B340, so we'll have lots of fun talking about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before that, we have a lot of, not that much theme park news as much as last episode.
Yeah.
But we have some stuff to cover. I would like to say, though, before we jump into any of that, we're recording really early in the morning right now.
Yes.
Really early in the morning. And both you and I have been, like, extremely tired. Well, one, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
So the level of energy that you have has been really, really, really low.
Yes.
So your only saving grace has been the coffee that we've been having, which has been the Expedition Roasters coffee.
Yes, I am allotted during pregnancy 1 cup of coffee a day, and I pretty much make sure it's Expedition Roasters.
Pretty much. And then the rat can't drink coffee. That's why you could hear her drinking water in the background right now. Solita, stop drinking water.
No, don't.
Stop it.
Don't make her stop. We almost accidentally dehydrated her the other day.
Well, it's because the stupid water bottle one that we bought from the store didn't have water coming out of it.
Yeah, it was really, we filled it up, we put it in her cage, and then at the end of the day it was like the same level, and we're like, she didn't drink any water today. And then I tried to get water out, by pressing the little ball, and no water came out.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's defunct.
I think she's still trying to catch up.
I think so too.
She's still drinking.
I know, so I don't mind hearing the sounds of her drinking water. Because I feel so bad.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, no, it's ridiculous how good the coffee is. And we said this last episode because the last episode was the first episode we had the commercial on. And, you know, even between those 2 points of that episode and now, I only love the coffee even more. And they just came out with the new coffee, and it's called Simply Sinful.
It's one of my favorites now.
See, the thing is that what their coffee is, like, when you smell it, you could easily think, like, okay, this is going to be overly sweet, the flavored ones. But as soon as you brew the coffee and taste it, the flavor is so mellow and so, like, not overpowering that you could still taste the quality of the coffee, but still get the wonderful flavors out of it that they're putting into it. So,
so
I'm all for it.
Simply Sinful is Maleficent themed, and the decoration on the bag, you know, the design is just beautiful. There's like a spinning wheel on the side, you know, the outline of her head with the headpieces on the front, and it smells deliciously like raspberry and chocolate, and it tastes subtly of raspberry and chocolate, and it's so good.
And you know, I feel like people who are listening to us right now talking about this coffee are like, oh, Gabe and Nikki, they're just talking about the coffee because they're supporting them. It's like, no.
It's genuinely delicious.
We freaking love the coffee.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that good.
Like, I literally said this morning at breakfast, I was like, I love all of them, and this is probably the best coffee I've ever had.
Expedition Roast is probably the best coffee they've ever had. Like, at home, being able to make myself.
Yeah.
Like, it's different if you're going out to, like, some crazy coffee place like La Mille or Intelligentsia or something over here in Silver Lake.
Yeah, but like
Los
brew
Angeles,
at
which
your
is
home.
hipster town, USA.
Yeah.
But brew at home,
Yeah, so good.
It's ridiculous how good it is. The quality is outstanding. So it isn't just because we're sponsored by them or anything like that. It's because we truly believe in the product.
Yeah.
And we're very awake, as you can tell. I'm very awake.
I'm
it helps
mildly
me
awake.
enunciate my words really well.
I'm growing a human, so I'm still just mildly awake.
Well, at least it helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving forward, let's jump directly into the Theme Park Bulletin. Over in Universal Studios, Florida, Fast and Furious Supercharged has commenced soft openings.
Whoa!
So a lot of people are excited over there, just have been waiting for this thing to open up. And to no one's surprise, it is almost literally 95% the same as what it is over here.
Is it really to no one's surprise? I feel like a few people were surprised.
I feel like some people were surprised.
Yeah.
I feel like because of the length of time it took for them to kind of develop the ride and build everything.
And also the fact that they were like promoting that one, and well, not promoting it, just fact is it was its own solo ride. I think people were expecting a little bit of a different experience, or at least an upgraded experience.
Well, like
because
Kong.
Like Kong, yeah, because our Supercharged here is part of a much bigger tour attraction, you know, tram tour. And so it's one part of a bigger ride. So that being its own individual ride that you have to wait for on its own, I feel like people were expecting a bit more.
I agree. And, you know, I watched a video of the experience, and the video is the same. The lead up is the same. The only small differences there are obviously the way it is presented. You know, the building is different because it's the tram versus an actual ride.
Yeah.
The line is one of those queueless systems. There are areas within the line where you actually encounter a human, like an actual person kind of talking to you.
Yeah.
But then within the ride, the only differences that I really noticed were the videos that are on board the actual car itself, the big vehicle. But the lines were pretty much similar. Like, they were the same lines, just a different actress or actor saying those lines to get you into the story. I think Kong does a really good job of building upon what it started with from our tram, because for the tram, what we have for Kong is perfect. Yeah. It's just enough. If you're building its own ride, it needs to have more, which Kong does. Kong delivers, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. We loved it. We went on it. Yeah. We thought it was fantastic. It's grandiose. It's big. It's almost scary in a way. It's really impressive. Also, the really large animatronic at the end really sends you off on the right footing. So that's really cool. But with this one, I feel like they didn't build upon anything. They literally, somebody made a joke on Twitter that says they took a thumb drive to Florida
Yeah.
and plugged it in. It feels like that. It doesn't feel up to the standard of Universal attractions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving forward, the next piece of news that we're going to be talking about is we have an opening date for the new Dreamwork Theater featuring Kung Fu Panda over at Universal Studios Hollywood. So we're jumping from East Coast to West Coast Universal. You know what I just realized? All of our news is all Universal news. Every single bit of it.
Oh, it is?
Every single bit of it is Universal news.
Pixar Fest just started at Disneyland.
Oh, you
there
ruined
you go.
it. You ruined it. You ruined it. Why did I say it like that?
I don't know.
I'm weird.
Kind of like Scooby-Doo. You ruined it. That's what it sounded like.
That was the worst Scooby impression.
I don't do it. I don't
Ruby
do it.
Racked.
I don't do a good Scooby-Doo.
I don't do it either, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. Okay, so Universal Studios Hollywood has announced that their new Dreamworks Theater featuring Kung Fu Panda's The Emperor's Quest will officially open to guests on June 15th. Inside, you'll see a dramatic retelling of an adventure story where, on the morning of the Emperor's Great Feast of Heroes, Dragon Warrior Po embarks on a wild and perilous mission to deliver the rare and precious liquid of limitless power to the palace, while enlisting guests to join him on an exciting adventure filled with raging rapids, river pirates, awesome magic, and kung fu, of course.
Whoa.
That's alliteration that stumbled me.
Yeah.
River rapids, river pirates. Can you say that 5 times fast? Raging rapids, river pirates.
As Scooby-Doo.
Let me try. I'll try. I'll definitely try. Raging rapids, river pirates. I can't do it.
That was a good attempt, though.
Raging rapids, river pirates. I can't do it.
There's too many R's.
Oh, it's too many R's. It's really difficult. But we already, from what we got from this attraction earlier, they announced that the interior will be projection mapping, and it's going to engulf guests in 180 degrees of immersive adventure. So it's going to be the entire inside, which is kind of cool.
Cool.
And one part of the attraction that I think is kind of fun is that when you walk up to the attraction, it's going to have like a ticket booth, and it's going to actually have Pinocchio asleep at the job.
Aww.
So I guess it's kind of like a small nod to its previous attraction, which is Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek 4D.
Yeah.
But it's still DreamWorks, so it completely works to have him there.
Yeah.
So I really like that. And then they're touting that it's going to have ultra plush, fully articulated seats that pivot and swirl in tandem with the 180 degree action.
Whoa.
So does that mean that it's going to completely like jolt you to the right and then to the left and stuff like that?
Maybe.
That's kind of crazy. Even more of a reason to get whiplash. What? Are you skeptical?
Well, no.
What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are I'm pregnant. Oh, I can ride that, but now I don't know if it's just gonna whip you around like crazy.
Well, it's not like it's gonna be like what was that thing at Epcot that we saw, and I was just like, nope. It was Sum of All Thrills or something like that, where you build your own coaster and it's like flipping upside down 10 different ways.
I don't remember.
I was like, yeah, I
vaguely
don't
remember
feel
that.
like that's something I need. But I don't think it's gonna be that.
You think it'll be kind of okay?
Well, remember what Shrek was like? It was
Yeah.
just bumpy. I don't think it's going to be anything crazier than that. If it's going to like swing you back and forth, I don't think it's going to be swinging back and forth at a high speed, because that's just going to throw people out of their seats.
I wonder if there's gonna be less seats. If it swivels you 180 degrees, there has to be less.
You're right, because there needs to be some
Room.
type of room and then people's legs and
Yeah.
stuff.
We'll see.
I just thought about people sticking out their legs and breaking them.
Ugh.
That wouldn't be good. I can't imagine that they're going to swivel that much then.
They're gonna lock your ankles in. You love that,
Like
don't you?
Tatsu?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, screw that. Don't touch my ankles, yo. My ankles.
Well, anyway, we'll see. But
Who's
yeah,
Gary?
no, but I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Kung Fu Panda. Did I see the first one?
I don't think I've ever seen any Kung Fu Panda movies.
Yeah,
to be
I don't
honest.
know
I'm
if
not gonna
I-
lie. I haven't seen any of them.
It's not something that appeals to me. I mean, I feel like a 10-year-old boy or something would love it. But it's not my thing. So I never really went out of my way to see them. But I think it's fun, and I will go see the one at Universal, and I think I'll enjoy it.
Moving outside the realm of the daytime theme park attractions, when the sun sets and it gets dark
It's
and
gonna be
cold
too
outside.
dramatic.
Yeah, I have to get dramatic, of course. And the fog fills the streets. The monsters come out to play. So let's jump into
Haunting Headlines. Okay, so an exciting piece of news that dropped at Monsterpalooza was the announcement of a new scare zone at Universal Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights. And it was Holidays in Hell with a Z. Yes.
I like to make fun of that every time it happens because I think it's ridiculous. Clowns, holidays.
It's so they can copyright.
Yeah, I know that now, so it doesn't feel as good when I make fun of them for it, but
Yeah.
still, it's ridiculous.
If you think about it, like, the majority of things have probably been copywritten at this point, so they're probably running out of...
I guarantee you they're like, okay, holidays in hell. Shit, it's copywritten.
At a Z.
Add a Z! Z. Oh, we're good. Great, thanks. Like, I can imagine that happening in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, so it's this scare zone is going to be in their backlot metro area, where what was the last year?
Metro Hell,
Metro Hell, yeah. So it's going to be various monsters from different holidays. They're going to have a Father Time, a Baby New Year, a Cupid, an Easter Bunny, leprechauns, revelers from Cinco de Mayo, turkey pilgrims, Krampus, Santa Claus, and Mrs. Claus. So they're all just going to be scary, gory versions of those characters. I'm not really excited about seeing a scary Baby New Year.
He's gonna rub his poo from his diaper all over you.
Ugh.
That's disgusting.
Happy New Year.
Well, I think it has the opportunity to be really, really cool. These are going to be, monsters be from those those holidays. And the way that I explained it to you was that, like, imagine the Doors from Night Before Christmas, like all those holidays, but then monsters coming out of them, which is kind of cool. I mean, like, one of them for Thanksgiving is going to be like a turkey pilgrim. It's going to be a pilgrim who looks like a deformed, like, turkey as well, which is terrifying.
Krampus we've seen. It'll probably be the same Krampus that we saw, but, we loved that scare zone. So.
Yeah, what was it called? Dark Christmas?
Dark Christmas,
yeah. Well, there was Krampus, Mrs. Claus, and Santa Claus himself in that scare zone.
So we'll see those again.
I'm sure they're going to be similar.
I'm sure. Yeah, they have the costumes.
Yeah, and I know that one of your issues with this scare zone was that you felt like it feels like they're kind of recycling things.
Well, yeah, I feel like we might see a lot of the same demons that we saw in Metro Hell, along with all of these holiday characters, and so I think basically it's just going to be like a hodgepodge of stuff we've seen before. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a cool concept. I think it is a cool concept, but I think we will see a lot of the same demons from last year, along with Krampus and then all of the new characters.
Yeah, I don't deny that.
Yeah.
And I feel like Hollywood has had this weird recycled feeling the last couple of years, and that just could be the fact that I've been for so many years now that I recognize the smallest details as being recycled. That could just be me. 100%. But then when I look at the themes of scare zones and areas and mazes over the years, we have, we've had Dark Christmas. We had a Halloween scare zone last year, which Halloween's not being included in that. So I don't know if Halloween's going to be in that or not.
Well, they did say there's some characters they haven't announced yet.
Yeah, so I'm sure they have. There's no way that they could not include Halloween in a Halloween event. Like, that's just bonkers to me. So, like, we've had a Halloween scare zone. I'm sure there's going to be Halloween guys in there. We've seen, like, a bunny monster before.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Have we seen leprechauns before?
I don't think we've seen leprechauns before. I mean, there are some new things in there, but there are some things in there that we have seen previously.
I feel like they could easily take one of the old man scare makeups that they've done before and make him a Father Time.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. But the thing is that I know that all the makeup and everything is, like, all brand new, all newly designed, so it's not like they're taking the mask that previously existed and just adding hair to it or something.
Except maybe Krampus.
Maybe. I don't know.
Be a stilt
I think
Krampus?
I'm pretty sure that was a mask. Like, not like a prosthetic, but an actual mask.
Yeah,
so
they
maybe
might
they
just
will bring it
reuse
back.
that.
Or at least reuse the same mold, not the same literal mask.
Yeah, from like 3 years ago.
Like filling it up, and
That's
it's just
gross.
like all like swelled with sweat.
That's gross.
Yeah, I know, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know that they're not literally reusing the things.
They should have Cupid just be like on wires, just like flying overhead.
He's just like flying everyone. I can't stop. Someone help me. It's like he's not scary at all. He's just up there with the crowd. Oh God, help me, guys! I'm spinning. I'm gonna puke.
Or at least have him be on one of those bungee things so he like lunges out at you.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like people would like hang around him if he was like in one location. You know what I mean?
Oh no, people run away from those bungee guys.
Yeah, but if it's in a scare zone.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It could work simply based on the fact that it's in the metro area, and that's become like
crannies.
a mini maze.
Yeah.
It's become like a mini maze, and they just push people through.
Which I have my own feelings about. Yeah, don't like that.
It's annoying.
Yeah, no, the whole metro area, the whole lower lot should just back lot should just be the scare zone.
Yeah.
It should not be this confined area. But let's not go down that road.
That is a road that should. We're at a fork in the road currently.
We have been down it.
Let's go left, not go right.
Yeah.
The right side says complaints about Halloween Horror Nights, and then on the left says main topic Queen Mary. Let's go to the left.
Okay.
Let's not talk about that because I do think this is a really cool idea. As much as we're complaining,
it's a great concept.
Like critiquing it,
Yeah.
It's a really cool concept. I think having a dark version of holidays is really, really, really fun. It's just something that people are completely aware of and completely used to.
Yeah.
Just twisted. So people already have like this weird connection to it, so that when they walk in, it's immediately disturbing because it's not right. It's not. It's the messed up version of what they think they know.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So. Moving forward. Oh, also, real quickly, last thing. They announced that Stranger Things was going to be in a soundstage.
Ooh.
That's good news.
I'm not going to see it.
That's not true. We could get a babysitter for one night so you can go.
For our less than 1 month old?
Yes.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you all about it.
I told myself I wasn't going to whine about not going.
Well, you did mention
episode.
you did mention on the you said you told yourself
in my head I said I wasn't going to whine on this episode about not going.
Well, you did a good job until now.
I was fine until you brought up Stranger Things because I am actually devastated that I'm not going to see Stranger Things.
I'm very sorry about that.
Okay, let's talk about the Queen Mary.
Okay. Let's jump into our trip report.
Woo! Okay, Gabe.
Yes.
You went to the Queen Mary without me. Am I being a good interviewer?
That was a very stiff intro.
I'm not used to
Hello,
this.
Gabriel. You went to the Queen Mary.
Well, I was doing like a thing. I don't know.
That's fine.
Didn't work. Anyway, Gabe went to the Queen Mary without me.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It was a very limited thing.
It was, yes.
It was very limited, but also it worked out because you couldn't get out of work anyhow.
Yeah, it's hard for me to go to things on weekdays, and I'm pregnant and I get tired, and you were there very late. But but I'm actually kind of bummed because it sounded so cool, and it was
terrifying.
I love all of those like haunted things, you know, and
yeah,
so
like I'm good with real ghosts and stuff, but as soon as like shit starts to go down, I'm like, no, thank you.
No, I'd love to experience something.
Well, we'll definitely go back and we'll go do all the different
paranormal tours.
Yeah, paranormal tours so that you could get a taste of what
I want to go on the ghost hunting tour, which you got a little piece of.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I got plenty.
So
full my share. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair share.
So let's just jump into it. So what happened when you got there?
So we were invited to the Queen Mary to experience parts of their different paranormal tours, you know, kind of like miniaturized versions of them, as well as get a sneak peek into room B340, like we teased at the top of the show.
Yeah.
So when we got there, got wristbands, got some food, got introduced to what we were doing that night. We got split up into 3 different groups. So each group kind of got diverted to those specific things. I feel like I was in the perfect group because it was almost like in chronological order in
the
my
right
mind.
order, yeah.
Because we got the ghost stories first, we got the investigation second, then we got the coup de grace, which is
The
B340.
B340.
B340, yeah.
Oh, and we should say that the whole reason why we got invited to this was because B340 is now available for guests to stay there.
Yes.
That was the whole thing. So the room is completely redone. It's remodeled.
quite
It looks
beautiful,
very
actually.
nice. And it's, it's one of the rooms that's, a little bit bigger. It has windows. So it's not, like a tight inside cabin, like down in the bowels of the ship type room, which we stayed in.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but no, it's nice.
The room was beautiful,
Yeah.
and it was really nice to be in outside of the fact that I wanted to throw up, which is a teaser till later.
Yes, we'll get to that later.
Find out why Gabe wanted to puke. Coming now at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so jumping into the first part of
I have no idea what time people are listening to
your
this.
mini sample of
What happens if they're listening to this and it's actually going to be 6 o'clock when I talk about my puking?
I don't know, maybe something happens then.
I told the future.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry, continue.
yeah, okay.
That was my weird
Yeah,
tangent.
I'm trying to be a good interviewer, and
What?
you were
Huh?
just
Hello?
being so difficult. Okay.
Continue.
So
Welcome into the world
oh
of
my
our
God,
wedding
you
or our
just
marriage.
interrupted me again. You're just waiting
Yeah,
to
what? Huh?
This is the last time I'm the interviewer. I quit.
Welcome to the world of our marriage. I'm joking. Continue. I apologize.
No, he's not joking. It's real.
No, that's not true.
Okay, so starting.
is.
Oh my God!
Sorry.
You interrupted
no.
me again.
Go.
Okay, so starting with the first stage of your mini sample tour. So you said there was a storytelling part first.
Yeah, so we went on a tour with our tour guide Daniel, who Nikki, you actually will know who Daniel is
From the
because
Ghost and Legends
yeah,
tour?
he took us on our Ghost and Legends tour, and this guy is phenomenal. Like he just does a really good job of setting the tone. He kind of has this character almost that he does, because the guy's like a normal guy like me, but then as soon as he starts telling these stories, he kind of takes on this persona. It isn't like completely changing your voice or something like
he's
that.
just more eloquent.
He is a lot more eloquent, really, really well spoken, very clear.
It's like you're getting a tour from like a upscale butler.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of. It's really
It's
like,
this
it
air.
fits.
It's this air that he has about his personality when he gives the tour.
Yeah, and it fits perfectly with the tone of what we were doing as well as the Queen Mary itself.
Yeah.
And he took us on the tour to many different spots around the ship and told us different stories about those specific locations. So he took us to a set of stairs that happened, that happened.
Stairs happened.
These people built these stairs, and it was quite amazing. He took us to a set of stairs that he had mentioned that the way that the stairs were built, when the ship would hit pretty heavy waves, people would fall down those steps a lot and they get hurt. Some people not surviving their injuries and dying. So he had said that a tour guide had been going down those steps and saw a man dressed all in black going up the other side of the steps. So when he got down, he looked back up and he saw the man in black get to the top of the steps, then disappear. He then said that tour guide is still on the ship, and he's still giving tours, and that he likes to tell stories in the third person. And then he just walks away. He just walked away whistling. Which, by the way, a lot of these stories you can see on our YouTube channel. I posted a video of some of the stories, a little bit of the investigation, and some of Room B340.
Yeah.
So you can see everything that we're talking about right now on our YouTube channel if you go over there. Type in Theme Park Duo on YouTube. So he was the one he was talking about. One of the ones I didn't include in the video is we went to a certain part of the ship. I think it was like near the front of the ship. And he was talking about how the Queen Mary had pretty much chopped in half another ship called the Curacao.
Oh, this is terrifying. You told me this story.
I didn't show this of him telling this story. I showed the Commodore talking about this story, but the location I didn't show.
Yeah.
And it's dark, it's dingy. There's one like string light from the top. It's echoey. You could hear the kind of like the water kind of like moving along the ship and stuff. It's really creepy. And pretty much like they cut the ship in half. Everyone died on that ship. People ingesting hot oil and getting chopped up from propellers. It's just terrifying.
Ugh.
And because there was so much violent death there, he was telling us that within this little hole that was in the ground that goes down like 3 or 4 levels of the ship, you could hear screaming.
And you still
sometimes,
can.
and you still can. And so sometimes people go into that part of the ship and just start hearing men screaming.
Ugh.
Because they say that those violent deaths left a mark on the ship.
Yeah.
So that's why you hear the screaming. So it's like these disembodied voices.
Yeah.
Which is completely terrifying. I honestly thought, because I was at the front of the group right next to him, I thought someone was going to come out and try to scare us, but nobody did, which made it even worse.
You were in Dark Harbor mode.
I was well, I was also partly in Dark Harbor mode because the pathway we took to get to this area, we had to go through a Dark Harbor maze, or at least what was left of it to get there.
Yeah.
It was the chef's maze.
Oh gosh, Feast.
Feast, yeah, we had to go through part of Feast, which, I geeked out totally, because going through Dark Harbor maze when it's not Dark Harbor is pretty fun.
Oh yeah, but we went through part of, what was it, Lullaby during the Ghosts and Legends tour, and we were doing the same thing. We're like, oh, look at all this stuff, it's still up. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. We were going through it.
Yeah, it was Lullaby.
Yeah, it was Lullaby.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really scary to hear those stories. And he just does a fantastic job of really getting you in that mood. We went to the first class pool. We went to some of the elevators, hallways, really different, strange locations that, it's like pretty much everywhere on the ship is haunted and has a story.
Yeah.
So it's like, good luck.
Well, if you think about the history of the ship, it's not surprising.
Oh, no.
So many things happen, so I'm sure every nook and cranny.
I mean, we talked about how we had experiences on the ship, so I mean, and a lot of people have. I mean, we had people that night who went through stuff personally.
Yeah.
Like our friend Shannon, who's from Nightmarish Conjurings, which, shout out to her, she's getting better. She had pneumonia in both lungs.
Pneumonia and bronchitis and the flu.
Yeah, so she pretty much hit the jackpot.
She said the ghosts from the Queen Mary made her sick because she got sick like the Friday after you guys went.
No, she really did.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking to her, and she was not feeling well.
Yeah.
When we got out of B340, she had this huge pressure in her head. And then she also told me that she heard a growl in her ear while she was in the boiler rooms.
And then the bathroom.
And then there's something that happened in the bathroom to her as well.
Yeah.
So that's completely terrifying. But shout out to her for not feeling so hot.
Living.
for being able to live through all of that. We want her to have a speedy recovery.
Yes.
So, where was I?
Every nook and cranny of the ship is haunted.
Oh yeah, every nook and cranny of the ship is haunted, and we've had people who had experiences the day that we were there and stuff. So there's no surprise that anywhere this guy is gonna walk, there's gonna be a ghost story attached to it. And I would stay on the ship again.
Yeah.
Just to see if anything would happen again personally.
Yeah.
I would love to see if something happened again.
Because
it wasn't so intrusive. It wasn't intrusive.
No, it wasn't.
That time it wasn't.
I believe we already talked about what happened to us on the ship, but if you weren't listening to that episode, go back and listen to it, but we'll tell you anyway.
It was the Midsummer Scream episode from last season.
Yeah, because that's when we stayed on the ship. But we had an inside cabin, and so it was 2 twin beds and, very small, just one room and then a bathroom. Gabe was in the bathroom, door closed, and I was lying on the twin bed farthest away from the bathroom, so against the far wall. And I was almost passing out asleep. I was so tired. And the door to the bathroom, the handle turns and opens just a little bit, and Gabe.
No, it wasn't a little bit. It was like
a foot.
It was I would say it was a good foot, a foot and a half. It completely opened.
So the handle turned, unlatched, and opened a good foot, and then I hear Gabe say from the bathroom, "What do you want, babe?" He thought I opened the door because I wanted something, toothbrush, whatever. And from the far bed, I said, "I don't want anything," or something like that. And then you just started freaking out immediately.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't open the door?
Yeah.
And you're like, no. I'm like, crap.
And it wasn't just a push, you didn't close it. It was a full turn of the handle.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I went all freaking ghost hunters on that shit.
Yeah.
I was blowing on the handle.
You
I was
did.
kind of making it ajar and blowing on it.
You tried to debunk it.
I was trying.
You were
so
stepping
hard
on the
debunk
floorboards and
I was trying so hard to figure out what had happened, and I came to the conclusion that there's no way this door could have opened the way I closed it.
Yeah.
Because it was completely closed. The little notch was in the hole in the door. The only way to open that door is if you were to turn the handle.
Yeah.
I didn't turn the handle. You didn't turn the handle. I heard the handle turn. So,
And then
whatever you want to take that as. I'm not going to say it ghosted it. I'm not going to say some spirit came in and was trying to be a peeping Tom in the bathroom on
we're
me.
just saying that there are things we couldn't explain.
There are a lot of things I couldn't explain that happened.
I know both of us on the ship, we slept facing each other in bed, and both of us said the same thing in the morning. It's like we wouldn't look around the room while we were in bed at night.
I did it once or twice just out of curiosity.
I wouldn't look
because
around.
there's no windows.
Yeah, it's pitch black.
It's pitch black.
You can see a little sliver of light from the hallway.
But even I was scared to look at that.
Yeah, no, because I didn't want to see it go away. Like, honestly, I would not look around the room. And I'm not going to say it was paranormal, but I did wake up at one point in the night and I heard scratching on the wall. And it's an old ship. It settles, things
makes a
move.
lot of noises.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say it was paranormal, but I was closest to the wall while I was sleeping. I heard definite noises on the wall. I refused to turn around. I just shut my eyes really tight and waited till I fell back asleep.
And I don't know about you, but like when I got onto the ship, I was very conscious and aware of like, okay, we're on a haunted ship. Something might happen. Something might happen.
No, I wasn't.
And the moment that something did happen was when I was not thinking.
We let our guard down.
I let my guard down. I wasn't thinking. I was just in the bathroom doing my thing. Well, I was washing up and stuff. My butt. No, I'm not thinking about it. I'm doing my daily activities. When you're brushing your teeth, using the restroom, taking a shower, getting dressed, putting on deodorant, whatever it may be, your mind isn't on anything else outside of that.
Yeah.
So my guard was down, and that's when it happened.
Yeah.
So from then on out, I was like on alert.
Yeah.
trying not to look outside into the room at night and stuff like that. So
yeah, and I honestly went onto the ship thinking, okay, there's lots of rooms. It's a big ship. Nothing's gonna happen to us.
Even Daniel said he's like, the woman in white has been seen in bedrooms.
Yeah.
So he's like, if you're spending the night on the ship, good luck.
Yeah.
Because she shows up in bedrooms.
Yeah.
If I woke up and saw a woman in white standing at the end of my bed, we would have had to move to the other bed because that bed would have been filled with poop. I would have crapped my pants.
And honestly, we should have said something about the bathroom door opening, because the Commodore did say, it's in the video that you posted, that they keep a log now of every paranormal experience that is told to them. So, and they say which rooms. I think it would be really interesting if you had an experience and you went and you asked them if they would tell you if other people have experienced things in that room.
You know what? Next time we go to the Queen Mary, I'm going to go to that desk and ask them that question.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what room we were in. I think I could look up like an email and see what number room we were in.
Yeah, no, I think you could.
Yeah.
I remember...
We were on the opposite side of B340.
It's a labyrinth. It is. We were B like 411 or something down.
Yeah, we were on the other side.
Yes.
But we were on B for sure.
Yeah, we were definitely on B.
Because I remember going to look for B340.
We found it.
Which, by the way, B340, like, it doesn't have a number on it, but our crap happened after we went looking for that room.
Yes. That is true. We went looking the first night, and the second night is same night.
It was the same night.
Yeah, it was the day we checked in.
Yeah, as soon as we got back.
But honestly, like, I'd say it's well worth it if you're not too scared to stay on the Queen Mary. It's, like, the prices aren't outrageous. Our room was, $200. That's a standard price for a hotel room.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, there's...
B340 is a little bit more expensive.
B340 is more expensive.
Because that's a specialty experience.
Yes, it's double or more. The price of a standard room. But like for a standard room, like, inside cabin, no windows. I mean, they are smaller because it's a ship, but for where you are, the experience you get, $200 you would pay that at any hotel anyway. And the experience of being on the Queen Mary, I'd say it's well worth it to do at least once.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I would stay there again.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what we experienced wasn't intrusive. It wasn't like I saw a specter sitting at the end of my bed. I saw that, I probably wouldn't stay there again. Because I want to sleep. I would like to sleep. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that if I go back, the ghost will kind of get to know who I am, and I don't like that. Like, I don't want to be friends with a ghost. I'm sorry, all our ghost listeners.
We're not staying there this year for Midsummer Scream because I will be 7 months pregnant, and I told Gabe I wanted a continental breakfast in my hotel.
That was a direct order from the top.
Yeah, so we're like a quarter mile farther away from the convention center, and I have
With a
continental breakfast.
She already has cravings ahead of time. It's like
Yes.
her cravings are pre-planned. I don't know if they're cravings. I think this just called you just know what you want.
I know I'm going to want breakfast.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, moving forward, the ghost stories, it's great. It sets up the spooky mood perfectly.
Yes.
Like, if you want to go aboard the ship and not necessarily go like ghost hunting,
Yeah.
but you want to hear the ghost stories that have happened on the ship and possibly even see something, you never know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
I would definitely check out the paranormal tours that they
Yes.
have on board because it sets the mood. And ask for Daniel. If Daniel's giving that tour, ask for Daniel. 'Cause
Shout
he's
out to Daniel.
Freaking awesome. So definitely check that out.
Moving on to the next part of your mini tour experience. This is the one that I want to do personally in the near future. I want to do the ghost hunting tour. So talk about that. This one sounds really exciting.
So we got in the elevator. You know the elevator that we got in for Ghosts and Legends, and we
Yes.
went up and it says you survived. We went backwards.
Uh-huh.
So we saw that you survived and then went down in the elevator into the boiler rooms.
to the boiler
with
room.
the investigator. His name was Matt Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we got down to the boiler room, he had to use a flashlight because none of the lights were on. It's dark. And people started to freak out immediately. I mean, people didn't like being down there
Yeah.
because of how vast it is and how dark it is.
So all of the machinery is gone. So basically it's just a gutted, cavernous warehouse-looking space.
Yeah.
You know, just
You're-
metal walls. You know at that point that
You're at the bottom of the ship.
You're under the water level. You know, there's water all around you. You know, it's just that feeling of claustrophobia kind of sets in.
And there's a line on the wall. There's like paint that shows you where the water
level.
line is.
You're well below it, like 30 feet or so.
Yeah, you're pretty far below that line.
Yeah.
So people were freaking out a little bit just because it's cold down there. It's quiet, echoey. It's big.
Cavernous.
It's really hard to see in there, like out past the catwalk area, because the lighting on the catwalk itself is illuminating that. So anything past that kind of visually is hard to see because of the lights on the pathway. And he was talking to us about like different techniques of, you know, trying to find ghosts. He put out this light that has all these little green dots. Like if you see in one of the Paranormal Activity movies, they have all those green dots and you see something kind of move within the dots.
Or any of those ghost hunter shows.
Yeah. So we put that up and he was kind of explaining how that works. And then we made our way further into the safe room, which is where he conducts a lot of his EVP sessions. And if you don't know what EVP is or what that stands for, it's Electronic Voice Phenomenon, where they are recording and they ask questions and they listen back and they'll hear voices that weren't present while they were recording. So that's what that is. So we went into the safe room and he was talking about his different tours that he gives. There's a table full of devices that you use. A lot of them are like for static electricity. You know, there's recorders. There's a whole bunch of a myriad of different objects on the table that do different things. You know, he didn't go over all of them. I'm sure you do in the full tour.
Yeah.
But immediately he just jumped into listening to the EVPs. And it, like, not having been in the room when those things happen, it still made the hair on my neck stand up.
Yeah.
Because hearing those things is terrifying. And one of the ones that I think was the most interesting was he was with a group and he was asking questions and you just start hearing knocking on the wall in like the in the rhythm of a heartbeat, so but a little slower on the wall on the outside. So the only big thing with this room is that the only possible side to knock on is the side with the door, because that's the side that's connected to the catwalk.
Every other side, there's nothing to stand on. It's like 30 feet down.
Yeah, it's out over the cavernous area part of the ship.
Yeah.
So if somebody were to lean almost all the way over and stretch their arm and try to knock almost near the corner on the backside of that room, they'd be in the hospital, according to Matt.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, they'd fall down and hurt themselves. There's no way that you could reach that far. Like, human reach is, like, within, what, like 2.5 feet?
Yeah.
At the most? And the fact that they heard a sound that was, like, 6 feet past that? is nuts. So he immediately got up and went outside the room and looked to see if there was anything there. And he goes, you know what I saw? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because of course. And as soon as he left, everybody in the room above where they heard the knocking heard, get out. Get out.
And that would be classified as a disembodied voice because they heard it at the time.
Yes.
EVP is something you hear later in a recording.
Yeah, exactly. And you can hear in the recording, they're like, I heard get out. Did you hear get out?
Everyone,
I heard get out.
yeah.
Like, everyone freaked.
And then what was his name? Matt?
Yeah.
Came back in the room and they're like, we heard something. We heard get out. Yeah, it's a pretty funny.
And that's also on the video on the YouTube channel. But one of the things that I didn't get on the YouTube channel was I asked him, I was like, you're seasoned, these things don't bother you. And he goes, yeah, they don't bother me at all. Like this is just a normal everyday for me. I'm like, has there ever been one that bothered you? Like it got you? And I'm pretty sure this is the one that he told me about. And he told me about how he asked a question. I think I may be getting this wrong, and I apologize if I'm getting this wrong. It could have been a different story. He told a lot of different stories, but I think he asked, "What is the name of the ship that we're on?" And he got a voice back on the recorder, but I think it was a disembodied voice because he heard it in his ear, but I don't think everyone else did. So in his ear, apparently he heard Mary.
Yeah.
And he jumped, he said, because he just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, it's like someone whispered it in his ear.
Yeah, and that's terrifying.
That's creepy when there's actually a person there whispering in your ear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, don't come near me,
Yeah.
thanks. And then another one of the stories that I thought was actually quite funny was that apparently somebody got pushed in one of his tours. Like, somebody actually physically got pushed by something. And they are not having it. This is on the recording. They're like, I'm gonna go stand over here. We're good for right now.
Yeah.
And so on the recording, you could hear them kind of walking over there, and he was talking about like some ghost that's down there that you could actually hear singing sometimes.
Ooh.
Like you hear singing. It's not like angelic singing. It's like more like moaning or something, but it's
Yeah.
like considered singing.
Yeah.
And in the recording, you hear that moaning, singing thing, and then immediately those people are like, "We're done. Bye."
Oh.
Where they were just done. They didn't want to be anywhere near it anymore. So being down there and hearing that stuff was pretty scary. We didn't catch anything ourselves, but he did make a point in saying, like, most of the time if I don't catch something, it doesn't mean that everybody else won't catch anything, because we were all recording the entire time.
Didn't he say that they send you home and you listen to it and you send him something if you find it?
Yeah, so that's if you take the tour, you actually get to take stuff home and listen to it.
I think that's really awesome. It's like you're in Ghost Hunters, it's like you're the investigator. And it's really brilliant because like I remember him saying either, I don't know if it was part that you included in the video, but he said that he has like an archive of so many different things that were caught by him and by other people that sent him the stuff. And I just think that's a great record that they have now.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sit down and listen to all of them. That's
Or
what I
his
want to do.
favorites, yeah.
I just want to hear, play your top 10 right now.
Yeah.
I want to hear the top 10. Like, I can't
And then
imagine
go
how
on the
crazy.
tour.
And then go on the tour and then be spooked out.
Yeah.
But being down there is rather terrifying. I mean, you've been down there for the Ghosts and Legends tour, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's unsettling. It's very unsettling.
It's very unsettling. And I feel like part of that is because we know the ship is haunted.
Yeah.
Or we consider the ship to be haunted. Some people don't believe in ghosts, so that when they go there and it's like, oh, it's a haunted ship.
Yeah.
But like we believe in ghosts, we believe in that stuff, so we consider it to be haunted. So going in, of course, that's kind of in our heads. It shapes our emotions and our feelings around the areas of the ship. But even if you were not believing in ghosts, being in that big ass room is a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
a little overwhelming.
And it just, like, ghosts aside, just the history of it, just being in there, and you can see, like, I honestly, I wasn't even paying attention for half of the Ghosts and Legends tour I went on. I was just looking around like, oh, there used to be a catwalk connected there. You can see all of the old structures where they took away the main part, but the stuff like against the walls is still there. You can see where catwalks used to be connected, and you can just imagine how it was when it was a real boiler room. And I was just in awe of all of that.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the fact that you're overwhelmed by the room is actually rather intriguing.
Yeah.
The way that it's it's built because it's just a system of boiler rooms, these huge rooms. And like you said, it's intriguing to kind of look at it and imagine it the way that it used to be back in the day when the ship was actually operating, and imagining those huge machines working and catwalks and people being in there. It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, there's even a room that you walk over. I don't know if it's the same room, but in one of the mazes, I think it's in Lullaby. Oh no, it's been in B340, where you walk over the catwalk.
I think that's the same room.
Is that the same room?
I think it's the same room or one of the rooms.
Yeah.
But there's no catwalks up there, is there? Like,
I mean, there's one catwalk that goes over that giant room, but I don't know if that's the same room or not.
I don't know. It might be a different room.
Yeah, might be. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what?
There's probably.
There must be another room.
Yeah, because it's farther. B340 was farther down the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have no clue. The way that that literally you had said it before, the ship is a maze. Like it's not a haunted maze, a literal maze.
Yeah.
It's very hard to figure out where you're going and where
Get
things
your
are.
bearings.
And get your bearings, and the hallways are long and stretching and terrifying.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was our experience down there, and then we went back up.
And then you went to the main event.
So the main event was room B340. We went with the Commodore to that room, and I was not excited about this to a certain extent. Like, cool, I get to go into room B340. I don't want to spend the night here, but I get to go in, so cool, let's take advantage of this. I want to look in here. As soon as you walk in, you can tell that the room has been redone fantastic. It looks fantastic. It's pristine, it's pretty, it's nice. There's quotes up on the wall kind of talking about different ghost stories that have happened in the room, as well as ghost stories that have happened on other parts of the ship.
Yeah.
When you book the room, on the bed is a Ouija board, tarot cards, and a crystal ball. So those all come with the room.
I would immediately put those outside.
Yeah, I would like set it outside the door.
I'd call like the front desk. Can you please pick up the Ouija board? That will not be necessary.
Yeah, because I do not want to put it underneath my bed, because that's like the worst possible place to do it.
And if you put it anywhere and then you just see it like moving around, like no, thank you.
Well, it was in a box, so thank God.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't sitting out. It was like all in a suitcase.
I'd put it in a closet then. I would just put it away.
What happens if in the middle of the night that closet just opens up and the Ouija board slides out?
Then I would check out.
Would you?
No, I'd stay.
Would you kick it back in? Just kick it as hard as you could back into the closet and close the closet?
Yeah.
Really?
In
the middle of the night, you hear squeaking, you open your eyes, you see the door open up all the way by itself, and then out slides the Ouija board by itself. What would you do?
I'd remember the $800 I spent to book that room, and I would stay.
Screw you, demon!
I'm getting my money's worth, dude. Come at me, bring something else. I paid for this.
and then you become the guy from Ghost Adventures.
Punch me! I dare you to punch me!
If there's a ghost in here right now, punch me in the face. Punch me right now. Give me a hug.
No, but honestly, if I paid like upwards of $500 to stay in that room, I'm committed. I'm
literally?
staying the night.
Like in a mental facility?
No, I'm committed to staying the night.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't following you.
Yeah. Also, maybe committed if I spent that much money to stay in that room.
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on how much you really like it. Like for us, like we're not huge ghost hunting people. We don't go out of our way that often to have experiences. So staying in a room like that isn't 100% appealing. Would I? No. Would you? Yeah, if you had the chance, but I don't think you would spend $500 on
No,
it.
if it was the price of an average room, I would do it once.
Yeah, totally. But it's a higher price because it's an attraction all itself.
But then also, like, from what...
So it's worth the price if you like that
it is
stuff.
worth the price. But then also from what you said and from what you experienced, is it worth it if there's a potential for you to feel vertical or not vertical...
Well, you're always vertical because we're always standing up until you start laying down.
I meant vertigo. Would it be worth
vertical.
it? Would it be worth it if there was a chance that the whole time you're staying in that room you feel vertigo and or nausea? Maybe not.
No, not at all.
I was nauseous for a month in February. I don't want to relive that.
So, what Nikki's talking about is the Commodore the entire night was taking people in there. He says that room gives him vertigo every single time he goes anywhere near it.
Yeah.
And he was feeling it while he was talking to us. He was telling us that. And what I teased earlier was that, you know, I was nervous about going in the room, but when I got in the room, I was completely fine. You know, I was focused on getting footage and coverage and pictures and listening to stories, and I was standing in the corner. I would say about like 10 minutes into the Commodore talking, I was completely like overtaken by this immediate feeling of nausea, like needing to throw up, like gagging, like everything you could associate with needing to throw up.
That's not fun. Just
immediately. And it was so overpowering. Like, even in the video that I posted on YouTube, I put like this huge card on there that says, like, if you hear my heavy breathing, it's because I'm trying not to puke. And, you know, eventually he turned to everybody. He's like, how does everyone feel okay? Like, what is everyone feeling? And I'm like, I feel nauseous. Like, I feel queasy. Really bad right now.
And like 5 other people.
Like the lady behind me is like, me too.
Yeah.
One of the girls said she had a sharp pain in her chest and that she felt sad. Some other guy said he felt angry. There's a few people that said they didn't feel anything at all.
Yeah. But some people are more
in tune with those things. Yeah. And I feel like I am.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. I've had experiences in my life before with the paranormal, and I do that in air quotes, with the paranormal.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of other instances of things happening, so I feel like I'm a little bit more sensitive to those things. There were other groups, like I had said, that had stuff happen to them. Like I said, there was a lot of people. Actually, Shannon's group, I think she said that every single person in her group felt a pressure in their head.
In their head, yeah, she said that.
Yeah, like every single person in their group had a pressure in their head. I don't know about the other group because I didn't talk to anybody in that group. I don't think I knew that many people over in that group. Or if I did, I didn't talk to them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I personally am not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
It immediately left. So as soon as I left the room, I felt pretty good again.
Yeah.
And then I got into the room where we had the food, and I felt totally fine. I had a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever's in that room, whatever energy is in that room, whatever entity, whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it, it had that effect on me. And simply based on that, I would not want to stay in the room.
Yeah.
I have no idea what caused it. You know, I don't have explanations here. Like, I don't have any explanations. Like, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I wish I had answers for everybody listening right now. Like, what happened? What happened to you? Like, why did this happen? I don't know. I immediately just felt completely ill.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest thing. I mean, at first when I started feeling like, oh, I'm probably just nervous. But I was so focused on getting the video and pictures that there's no way in heck that it was that.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't thinking about being nervous. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh no, I'm nervous.
Well, that's what you said. The moment you let your guard down, the moment you're not thinking about it, that's when
it starts happening.
Yeah. And, you know, honestly, there's a reason why that room has a reputation, you know? And
the Commodore said that the reason why so many things happen in there is because they believe the reason why so many things happen in there is because of its vicinity to the pool.
I'd be interested if any of the people who were working on the room redoing it, you know, had experiences.
I wouldn't put it past it. Like, I would believe that they would have.
Hindsight, but that would have been a cool question to ask. I don't know if the Commodore would have known.
He might have. Who knows?
But I mean, that'd be cool because you know, they're in there, you know, long hours working on, you know, drywall and, you know, carpeting and all that infrastructure. So who knows if they got weird feelings.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know that when we were talking to some other people, they were talking about having the feeling of being watched.
Yeah.
You know, feeling like someone's there. He told a story about how a person who was working on the ship came in, made the bed.
Yeah.
This is back before it was closed. Came in, made the bed, went out to get towels, came back in, and the bed was just completely a mess again. Like, all the blankets were on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one where, like, a woman saw somebody standing at the edge of their bed. Things like that. So there are plenty of stories that go along with this room. It's just a really interesting situation to be in. I think you hit the nail on the head, is that as soon as my guard went down is when something happened.
Yeah.
Because when we were down in the boiler room, when we were out doing the ghost stories, my guard wasn't really down. Like, I was very aware of my surroundings and what was going on. I was looking around corners, hoping that I would see something. The moment I'm not thinking about that, it hits me.
Yeah.
And that's a little scary.
Yeah.
And we're people who love being scared. We go to these haunts all the time.
Yeah.
We go to Halloween Horror Nights, Not Scary Farm, Dark Harbor, Fright Fest, 17th Door, like all these things.
Would it be more accurate to say we love getting startled?
No, because it's both. Because we do get scared. Very rarely we get scared, but we do get startled a lot.
Yeah. But no, I also do
Queen Mary was one of the few places last year where I genuinely got terrified.
Uh-huh.
Like you didn't look at me when it happened.
I just knew.
We were in Feast. You just heard the sound in my voice. It was guttural.
Yeah. And were we holding hands? You squeezed my hand and you kind of...
I don't remember.
I don't know. But anyway.
I was so focused on getting scared.
But yeah.
But we do all those things. And then when it comes down to this, it is such a different type of thing.
It's different.
It's a very different type of experience.
Like deeper. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It feels more personal.
Yeah.
Personal in a way that makes it more scary.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you could be in a group of people and you'll be the only person that hears something. And I think that's completely terrifying. In a way that is more terrifying than I could associate with any maze that I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same type of thing. The feeling of being scared in a maze or startled or anything in a maze, it immediately leaves you once that scare is done.
And at the end of the day, it's all staged.
It's all staged. It's all people in makeup. But when something happens to you aboard the ship that isn't a person, or that you don't have an explanation for,
it's different.
It lingers. It doesn't go away. It makes you think about it because rational people need rational answers. And I think that's what's scariest about the paranormal, is that there aren't really answers. There's no scientific explanation for this stuff.
Yeah.
And people are scared of the unknown. So being on a ship where if you experience something and there's not going to be an answer, people are inherently scared. And I think that's partially why I don't mind the ship. I like being on the ship. I would stay on the ship again. But I think that's why the experiences aboard the ship affect me the way that they do, is because I am the type of person that needs answers.
Yeah.
I need to know, why did this happen? Who was in my room? What was in my room? Whatever it may be, I just want to know.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to get those answers. What made me sick in that room? Don't know.
What
opened the door? What opened the door to the bathroom in our room on the ship? Don't know. We'll never know. And that bothers me even today.
Yeah.
Like, I think about that door opening up every now and again, and I want to know. I want to know what opened the door. Was it some peeping Tom ghost that wants to take a look at my ding-a-ling or something? Like, I have no clue. I just want to have answers, but I'm going to live my life not having an answer until I die and I turn into a ghost and then I haunt one of the ships or something.
What if it's like, back onto the Queen Mary?
What if it's like Insidious and it was me opening the door?
I can imagine afterlife you just being like, oh, this is great. I'm totally gonna freak him out.
This is me. The further is real. But yeah, that was our experience, or my experience, on the Queen Mary.
Yeah.
And if you don't like having those personal experiences but like getting creeped out, do the Paranormal Stories tour. Do that 100%. If you like to go a little bit further and want to have your own experiences and have something to take home, do the ghost hunting on the ship. By the way, that doesn't happen during the day. That's all nighttime crap.
It's like, I think he said it's like from 11 to 2 in the morning.
Yeah, like 11 to 2, 11 to 3. Sometimes they go longer because he's just having a blast.
Yeah,
like
it's probably going up to the whim of the group.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that's part of the cool factor too. It's like after hours, that's the one I want to do.
All the crew is gone, pretty much. No one's working. It's as quiet as can get. And who knows what's going to happen on that ship when that happens.
Yeah.
Because they always say that ghosts come out, at night normally. Stuff happens during the day, but, the assumption is that at night is when things mostly happen. So if you want to have your own experiences, I would implore you to go check that out. And if you want to go to the furthest extent of having your own experience,
or I guess most likely chance of experiencing
most
something.
likely chance of experiencing something, go check out B340. Spend the night there. I'm not going to tell you to play with the Ouija board because I would never personally do it. So
maybe just stare at the crystal ball for a while.
just stare at it for a while until you see someone behind you. That's terrifying. Check out Room B340. To finish my thought that I was from a while ago, we just went on a tangent and kept talking, is they say that the room is haunted because of its vicinity to the pool.
Yes.
And the pool is one of the areas that they say is the most haunted because in the changing room or in the restroom or whatever it may be, many ghost hunters and paranormal people and people who are sensitive to things say that there is a portal in that room that allows ghosts entry to the pool.
Is it weird that that's where I shut down and stop believing?
What do you mean, like a portal?
Like a vortex or a portal, or a passageway. It's just that.
It sounds outrageous.
No,
I'm not going to deny that.
That's the part where I'm like, honestly, that's where I tune out. It's like that's too far for me.
So what is that is the level of belief for you, is that there could be ghosts here.
Yes.
Ghosts exist.
And I think
the idea of a portal is not something that you believe. You think it's baloney?
Yeah, that's
How about mortadella?
What?
I'm talking about meat.
I knew it was food or drink related what you said. No, it's just that's where it goes too far. It's like I believe that there could be residual hauntings, like memories, and I believe that there can be
like the energy
that stays behind. I feel like there can be intelligent hauntings. I don't think there is a portal or a vortex or a wormhole that lets them pass to and fro. I don't know why. For some reason, for me, that's just too far. To me, that is just mumbo jumbo to make something sound cooler than it is.
Well, think about it this way. It's our perception of something that we know nothing about. So we're always just trying to place a word or a description
or cause hype.
That too.
Put
that's words or a description on something that we don't completely understand.
No, but that's just my personal belief. It's what they could easily just say the pool is an area of heightened activity. They don't need to say there's a vortex. So one supernatural person goes there one time and says, "Oh, there's a portal in the changing room," and then so now that's just what they say to every tour group that goes by for the rest of their lives.
I mean, that's still cool though to hear it.
No, because I don't believe it.
See, for me, I
groan. I'm like, here we go again. They're talking about the portal. To me that's too far. And yes, this is a thought that I have every time we go on the Queen Mary and I hear that, and this is the first time I've ever voiced it.
Well, you heard the story that he told when he was talking about the first class pool and seeing footsteps.
Yeah.
The footsteps led from the pool, the wet footsteps from a pool that has been drained, led from the pool
to the changing room,
to the area that they say has the quote portal.
And you know what? You take away the whole portal part, still totally believable. Residual haunting from when there used to be water in the pool. A woman walked from the pool to the changing room, because where do you walk after you get out of the pool? To the changing room. There doesn't need to be a portal in there for that story to be believable.
I don't know. I just get naked at the pool. A lot of people scream, but
in public pools, yeah, I know. That's what you like to do. That's another topic for another time. But
I really don't think it's another topic for another time ever. but okay.
It's not a topic for this time.
No.
But that's just my personal opinion.
And that's totally fine. I just think that we don't have a complete understanding of what it is, and I feel like they place a word on it that makes sense to them, that may make it seem a little cooler than it is, or something like that. Do I think it's a portal? I don't know. I can't say. I haven't really. I'm not that sensitive to the point where I know that kind of stuff.
I just felt like I had to say something because I don't even like perpetuating that story. Like, I don't want to perpetuate that. I don't know why I feel so strongly about this. I don't even want to put that out there on our show. I don't want to say there's a portal in the changing room of the first class pool of the Queen Mary.
Well, let's say this then. if we don't truly believe that there's a portal there, the fact that that is the most highly active area of the ship, arguably,
Yes.
there's just that much energy there. And that could just be what it is.
Yeah.
It's the fact that there's just that much energy in that part of the pool room.
Yeah.
The fact that that energy is there is the reason why there's so much activity in that room.
Yeah.
And I think that may be what it is. I don't know.
'cause they're very
I'm
close.
talking out of my ass here because, like, I don't know anything about, like, paranormal activity
Yeah.
or, like, investigating or, like, what is included in the terminology of different things. Like, I'm completely
Well, we're just
talking out of my ass
reiterating what we heard. And I just
Oh,
want
yeah,
to reiterate
totally.
that without saying the word wormhole or vortex or portal.
There's
Area
a lot
of
of
high
energy.
activity.
It's an area of
Yeah.
high activity, 100%.
And B340 is right by it.
Like,
But you know what? So are a
Really
lot of other
close.
rooms. So are B342. You know, it's like
no, but it's the closest to it, to that area where of high energy. That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
The room is the closest. I can't argue that
that's what
because
they said.
I don't
don't
work
have a
on
blueprint.
I don't have a freaking blueprint.
Yeah.
I can't say, oh, I don't know, this other room's about 100 yards closer. Like, I have no clue.
But literally, room B3, because it's even an odd size, right? So, like, it's B338 and B342 are right next to it. It's like, are they really that much farther apart?
And you know what?
I wonder if people
guarantee you-
experience stuff in those
I
rooms.
guarantee you things happen in that room as
Yeah.
well. Things happen in every single room.
Yeah,
It's just,
no room is safe.
it's just the room that's closest to that activity or that alleged activity is going to have the most.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a good chance that you could stay in room B340 and nothing happened.
And you
the
know
person
what?
staying in room B330 or 338
Yeah.
or 380 or whatever. The room right next to B340 on the same
Side.
row of room,
Yeah.
the same side, could have something happen and nothing could happen in B340.
And you know what? In B340 being extra active may have nothing at all to do with the pool. You know, no one
It
actually
could be its
knows
own
anything.
thing.
No one actually knows anything. You know, people do walk in that room, like people who are sensitive, and say that something traumatic, something violent has
somebody
happened
got
in there.
tortured in here.
So B340 could be its own thing. You know, maybe ghosts, spirits are drawn to B340 on a completely separate level than the pool. Maybe it's not connected at all. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we don't have answers.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that even after all of this and we're still having this conversation only proves my point of wanting to have answers.
Yeah.
Like, we want answers to all this stuff and we just will never will until we die, or even then we may not even have
Yeah.
answers after that.
Yeah, who knows?
We will never know. And you know, this is just a really interesting conversation. I know it kind of diverts from our theme park talk normally, but I feel like it fits in with what we normally do here on the show, simply based on the fact that we always talk about haunts.
And Queen Mary
constantly.
we talk about all the time.
And we're in love with Queen Mary.
Yeah.
We think it's
We
fantastic.
talk about Chill, we talk about Dark Harbor. We're all over Queen Mary all the time.
Yeah, and this happens to fall within the realm of the Queen Mary's normal everyday activities, and I think it deserves to be talked about.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're listening to this show and you think 100% mumbo jumbo, these guys don't know what they're talking about, there's rational explanations for everything that happened to them. You go on the ship, you experience what we experienced, and then it makes it a little bit more harder for you to debunk it after I've tried to debunk it already multiple times.
Yeah, and we're not saying, you know, like 100% anything we experienced was paranormal. We're just saying we don't have another explanation for it.
I have zero explanation
Yeah.
after having already gone through my list of things that I think it was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I've talked to people who are ghost hunters before, and they asked me, did you try this? And it was the stuff that I did to try to debunk it. And they say, okay, well, that's what we would have done. And they don't even have an answer for that afterwards.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just have an experience on the ship, and then you'll kind of understand what we're talking about. And if you're listening to this and completely enthralled, you should go experience it yourself.
Yeah. Even if
And-
you just stay in a normal room, you may
Yeah.
experience something, you may not. Tell us what happened.
I mean, stay aboard the ship one night and do the investigation. And
Yeah.
then go to sleep that night and then wake up the next morning and go home. because who knows what's going to happen. So if you like the Queen Mary or you like Long Beach, it's a perfect place to go. Please just check it out.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode. You know, like I said, it's a little different, but I think it's really interesting to talk about all this stuff just because it's something that we've experienced and I've experienced, and a lot of our theme park friends have experienced as well at this point now.
Yeah.
after this visit to the Queen Mary.
I know a lot of our friends stay on the Queen Mary during Midsummer Scream. So.
Oh yeah, we saw plenty of them. So thank you for tuning in with us this week and listening to us chat about our scary experiences aboard the Queen Mary. If you've stayed aboard the Queen Mary and had experiences yourself, let us know on social media. Like, send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be, or send us an email. Let us know what your stories are aboard the Queen Mary.
I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, really, right? And if you're interested in any of the tours that they're giving aboard the Queen Mary, or if you want to, don't laugh at me, the Queen Maury.
Queen Maury?
Yeah, just imagine Maury Ballstein from Zoolander. No, if you're interested in staying aboard the Queen Mary, go to queenmary.com and check out all the different prices and different tours you could take to experience some of the paranormal. And if you want to check us out on social media, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Periscope, all at Theme Park Duo. And if you want to email us, you can email us at
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
And we haven't gotten a review this week. But if you would, I know, sad, right?
Come on, people.
But if you want to leave us a 5-star written review or just a 5-star review, head on over to iTunes and leave it there. It helps us out so much. It actually raises us up in the standings so that it makes it easier for people to find us and enjoy us like you are right now.
Did you check the other versions of iTunes? Maybe we have like Bangladesh fans or...
I have a high doubt that we have Bangladesh fans.
I don't know. Just check the other ones because we had the one British fan.
I check
Shout
that
out
one every
British
now and again.
fan. We love you.
Yeah, well, we have a couple people who listen over there.
Yeah.
And I think we have people who listen to Ireland too.
Shout out Ireland fans. We love you. Come over here and stay on the Queen Mary.
Is that just like your normal go-to for every single whatever country it is?
Shout out Japan fans. We love you.
Number one in Japan. We know. Or you know?
Yeah, we know.
We know.
We know.
Yeah, we know. Sorry, a really bad reference to a radio station that's in Southern California over here and a lot of other places.
Shout out Woody Show fans. We love you.
You're so generic.
Hey, Menace.
He's not listening.
He might be.
He's probably not.
I love churro. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Listen to The Woody Show, Alt 98.7. It's a great show.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Okay, enough with this. Enough with this nonsense. We're ending the show. Thank you for listening, everybody. We always really appreciate it. And until next time, there's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. See ya.
Thanks for riding with the Theme Park Duo. Make sure to gather all your belongings before the end of the podcast. Bye-bye.